a big Sasquatch believer, by the way. If you have a Sasquatch sighting story, I need to hear it. I have to do something to maintain my sanity in my downtime. Otherwise, I'm going to go crazy from just watching so much unbelievable human suffering roll out before my unsuspecting eyes every single solitary day. I have to do something to maintain my insanity. I choose golf and Sasquatch hunting. So if you have a Bigfoot story, I want to hear it. Let's go back to the phones. Mary from Oregon is calling. Hey, Mary, thanks for the phone call. You are live.
Yesterday you asked me to call back about my daughter who's nursing and she wants to take Sweeties.
Yeah, and I called Richard Renton, left a message, haven't heard back. So I still don't have the answer, and it's bugging me. I was thinking about this all day. Oh, I know Mary from Oregon's going to call back, but, there's only so much I can do. Longevity's really busy right now with they're getting ready for next month's convention, and there's a bunch of other stuff that's in the pipes. Longevity is always Johnny on the spot with calling me back. So, it's just bad timing. But as soon as I know the answer to this, I'm going to talk about it on the radio. I'll talk about it in the very first segment, okay? So you don't need to keep calling me back. I'm always happy to answer your calls, Mary, because you're such a longevity supporter. But in any event, keep your fingers crossed. As soon as I get the word on that, I'll let you know. Does that sound like a deal?
That works perfectly because I listen to every single one of your podcasts.
I told you were the smartest woman in Oregon. There you go. Thank you so very much. Texas is up next. Let's go and talk to Blake. Hey, Blake, thanks for the phone call.
Yeah,
come on in, Blake. Hey, Blake.
Hey, Dr. Glidden. I've been on longevity for about a year and a half now.
All right, Blake, before I let you ask your question, I'm going to ask you one. What part of Texas do you live in?
I live in Dallas.
And what's your horse's name?
Dallas, Fort Worth.
What's your horse's name?
Ed.
Everybody in Texas owns a horse, don't they? Oh, no, wait a minute. That's a gun. Everybody in Texas has a gun.
Saddle and a gun, yeah.
All right, so what's...
Sometime you can come down here.
So what's the question, man? How can I help?
So I've been on longevity for about a year, taking my health back.
Great.
Like everybody else. I was really skeptical before, but, truth in the eating, right?
Well, all right. So the listeners don't know. So, before we get to the question, tell people what you've experienced, since you've been taking longevity.
Well, I have experienced, first of all, I found out what gluten intolerance was from Dr. Wallach. That doesn't even make the front page of the news when, half the country probably has it. If not half, probably more than that. But, I had a heart attack when I was 20 years old, and they never could figure out why.
Right.
And I was just, a normal guy, played college athletics.
Right.
I just had a heart attack. And it's like, we don't know why. So
we know why, right?
Yeah. So I meet Dr. Wallach, and he goes, you're just mentally deficient. And I'm just like, okay. Like, great, what do I do about it? He's like, it's not really all that hard. And I'm like, what do you mean it's not all that hard? And so I've been doing it for a year, and I'm 30 now. And I can't really believe that I feel like I have more control over my health and I feel better than I did for the past, 30 years.
Right.
I haven't felt this good ever.
Right.
So, my question was, I've been curious, you and Dr. Wallach always say the body wants to heal itself. It wants to heal itself. All we need to do is give it the raw materials. So then I started thinking about antioxidants, and, you and Dr. Wallach are huge on antioxidants and things like that. And I had no idea. I was researching just one day, and I came up on glutathione.
Oh, yeah.
And I've never, it's like I've heard about it, but it's like, what do you think about that? And does being on the 90 help your body be in a good position to produce glutathione and all that? Because nobody's talking about that.
Yeah, I know. Naturopathic doctors are talking about this. We've been talking about glutathione ever since I was in school in 1987. I learned about glutathione, right? So this is a common thing in naturopathy and in the practice of naturopathic medicine. But of course, like everything else that's correct, it hasn't trickled down into the mainstream yet. So it's a great thing to talk about, and it's a very important thing to understand. Okay, so the human body has a fire department, and it also has a police department. The police department is the immune system. The fire department is your body's antioxidant generating facility. Your body, in addition to having an immune system which fights bad guys, right, fights bacteria, fights viral infections, fights pathogenic organisms that find its way into your body, that's the police department. Your body also has a fire department, and the fire department's job is to put out the fires of inflammation before they burn the house down. So, the main player in your body's fire department, like the captain of the fire department of your body, is glutathione. Glutathione is a substance that the body produces, and glutathione neutralizes free radicals. Glutathione neutralizes free radicals, and free radicals cause inflammation in the human body. However, every time glutathione neutralizes a free radical and puts out that inflammatory process, it becomes destroyed. Unless there is also in the vicinity selenium. When selenium is present, glutathione attaches to a free radical, neutralizes it, becomes destroyed, and selenium recycles it. It's like selenium brings it back to life, and the glutathione rises from the dead like Lazarus and is able to neutralize another free radical. So, selenium is of maximum importance here to increase your body's glutathione activity. And it's kind of like just making sure that, there's water in the fire hydrant that the fire department hooks up to when they come to your house and it's burning down. You got to have the water in there, or the firemen are just going to be standing around watching the house burn to the ground. So if you have selenium in your body in adequate amounts, then your glutathione is going to be good. And if glutathione is good, everything is good. So selenium here is of maximum importance if we're attempting to optimize the fire department of the body, which is something that everybody needs to be talking about, but nobody is. Most people don't even have any idea that the body has a fire department, let alone know how it works. Right now, interestingly enough, the longest-lived people in the world, right? There are pockets of cultures around the world where, they live to be 100 years of age, and that's the norm, and they're healthy. They're not sitting in wheelchairs drooling. Can't remember the names of their kids like we are here in the United States and Canada and the European Union, right? The people like the Vilcabambas in Peru, the Georgians in Russia, the Bama people in southwestern China, and the somebody else in Okinawa, I can't remember. But, right, these people live extremely long lives. There were two things that they were doing by accident which increased their life expectancy. Number one, they were eating food, something. In every culture it was different. The Bama people, they drank this homemade wine with snake skins in it. The Okinawans ate sweet potatoes. The Vilcabambas had this chocolate, right? There's not Hershey's chocolate, but, Aztec chocolate, right? And the stuff that they were eating by accident was loaded with antioxidants. And that's another thing that you can do to help the fire department of the body. In addition to giving it selenium, if you import antioxidants into the body, the antioxidants also put out the fires of inflammation, and it's the fires of inflammation which cause chronic disease. So the better your fire department is, the less chronic disease you're going to have and the longer you're going to live, and life is good. So all of these people were consuming a minimum of 20,000 ORAC points of antioxidants a day, just because that's what their life was. The average North American gets 1,500 ORAC points of antioxidants a day. We die in our 80s after we've been suffering for 20 years.
Right.
these longest-lived people, right, they get 20,000 ORAC, and they live to be over 100, and they're healthy. There was one more thing that they were doing, and nobody but Dr. Wallach noticed this. Nobody but Dr. Wallach noticed this. You know, Wallach's been published over 72 times. He's written, 12 books now. He's got a book in the Smithsonian Institution. He's a legend. And in my opinion, the single most important thing that Dr. Wallach has brought to humanity is his understanding of plant minerals. Because all of these indigenous cultures, in addition to, by accident consuming food loaded with antioxidants, they also consumed wood ash because they heated and they cooked with wood. And indigenous people use everything. So the fire would burn down and they'd collect the ash from the fire. The white ash in the middle of the fire they'd put in their soups and in their stews and in their breads. It's called potash. And the gray ash on the periphery of the fire they would put in their gardens. Well, what the heck does that have to do with anything? Well, wood ash is 99.99% minerals. Because the plant's growing in the soil, the plant sucks minerals out of the soil and it uses them to help itself grow. And then you cut the plant down, you cut the tree down, and you burn it. You burn the sugars and the cellulose and the fibers, but you can't degrade a mineral in a fire. You need a blast furnace to do that. So wood ash is mostly minerals. So the indigenous people, again, by accident, because they put wood ash into their food, were mineralized. Their bodies were mineralized. And this all went away when we started using electricity. It's like an unintended consequence of using electricity. So no more fires, no more wood ash, no more culinary ash, and now chronic disease is skyrocketing. Why is this? Because everybody's body is under-mineralized, and this is why Dr. Wallach is a flippin' genius. Keep up the good work, Blake. You are the last best hope. So much to know, so much to understand. Did you know that butter is good for you? Did you know that lard is good for you? Did you know that salt is good for you? Did you know that oil and fried food will kill you? Stop eating olive oil. Stop eating salad dressing. Don't even be downwind of anything cooked in a fryolator or a fry pan using oil that's heated. You want to cook up a nice piece of fish in a skillet, use butter or lard, nada problema. You use oil, you're going to die, sucker. But before you die, you're going to suffer, and then you're going to die. And if you want a video which explains that, go to my website, drglidden.com. On the sidebar, if you sign up for my newsletter, you give me your email address, we will email you a link to 2 videos that I did. They're free. We need your email address. I'll email you a link to 2 videos that I produced that explain to you why olive oil is bad, and in addition to that, why there are 9 other foods that are going to kill you. It's free, drglidden.com. In the right-hand column of the page, at the very top, give us your email address, sign up for my newsletter, and get a clue, because we desperately need it, because the pharmaceutical industry has played us big time bad. And again, it's not the gun, it's how it's used. It's not the drug, it's how it's used. Thank God for penicillin, thank God for Novocaine, thank God for the sterile technique. The way that MDs use drugs, leading cause of death in the United States. California's up again. Bernice, her father was hospitalized. Hey, Bernice, what's up?
Hi, this is Bernice. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. What's going on?
Hi. So I was calling regarding my father's hospitalization 7+ days ago. I don't even want to give the exact amount of time. And I give it up to the Lord Jesus that every test that they have done has been negative. They are mind blown. They're mind blown, and their insistence is in not discharging him due to the fact that he has a little persistent fever temperature. It goes up to 101, 102. It's gone up as far as 104, but mostly 101, 102, 101. And it's been this way for about a week, about 5 days, because it was a little more inconsistent a few days back. So, of course, he's frustrated and all. And I'm like, Dad, what? I'm like, there's nothing wrong with you. It's time for you to go home. And he says, well, I can't. They don't want to discharge him because of this persistent fever.
That's not why they don't want to discharge him. They don't want to discharge him because it's after the 15th of the month. And after the 15th of the month, they need to meet a certain quota. A doctor, who works with a hospital, in order to continue to be able to admit patients to the hospital, has to order so many diagnostic tests, has to admit so many patients, has to perform so many procedures every month. And if they don't, they can no longer admit. So more likely than not, people are kept in the hospital or the emergency room. They're kept overnight. Their extra procedures are done that never would be done in a country with socialized medicine. They would never do this much stuff in Canada as they do in the United States. They do it to pad the bill, period. Keeping somebody in the hospital with a low-grade fever, just for the rest of their life, that's criminal. So my advice, he gets up and walks the hell out. He gets up and leaves.
And, I mean, from an endoscopy, colonoscopy, CT scan, MRI, this and that, this and this. And thank God Almighty, in the name of Jesus, everything has been negative.
Until you get the bill, then he's going to have a heart attack.
Yeah. The other reason attached to the low-grade fever is, there is somewhat of an anemia. And then just a day ago, the other doctor said, okay, your blood cells, your red blood cells are back to normal. Everything's looking good. Just put some effort in it. Start walking, and you'll be put down to the first floor for physical therapy.
Yeah. Oh, great. So he must have really good insurance. Does he have really good insurance?
You know what? I suppose I could give you the name of the company, and you might.
Well, I mean, I don't know. So I'm going to bet you that he has really good insurance, and they're just milking it. They're milking it as much as they can. Now, again, this is a testament.
Yes.
I mean, to their mind control. I mean, I don't want to sound like an Orwellian, but for goodness sake.
And then, of course, my dad, through this whole thing, he's been more moved by what they say. Until yesterday, they even did due to the somewhat of anemia count or whatever, they ran the spine tap to see if bone marrow, and they said the bone marrow came back normal. There's no sign of leukemia, this and that. They did emphasize this as well. They said it's just this one particular cell, a monocyte, I think they called it, monocyte.
Oh, my God. We're up against a hard break, Bernice. Stick around. More of your horror story, or your dad's horror story, when we come back. Stick around, folks. Turf war, ladies and gentlemen. The MDs don't want naturopathic medicine licensed in all 50 states because they know that if we did, we'd actually have a free medical market and people would slowly start gravitating away from their ridiculous therapeutics like they're giving to Bernice's father in California. Bernice, while your dad's in the hospital, there's nothing I can do for him because they won't allow him to take anything except what they prescribe when he's hospitalized.
Right.
So, I don't know what to tell you.
Okay, and what's this monocyte cell, this one unknown cell that appears? First, originally they said...
I'll tell you what it is. I don't care, Bernice. I'll tell you what it is. Yes. It's 2 words. The first word rhymes with...
Mono.
No, the first word rhymes with pull, and the second word rhymes with hit. That's what it is. The first word rhymes with pull, and the second word rhymes with hit. That's what it is. It's BS. It's baloney. It's nonsense. It's starter.
They said first they said this. Just what day is this? What day? We're the second day of the week, Tuesday. Okay, so Sunday was the last day that the other doctor had a full day 7 cycle with him, or 6-day shift with him. And he said, okay, sir, well, everything's looking normal. He said, I would have already discharged you. It's just this little fever keeps coming back. And he says, but there's no trace of infection in your blood anymore. Your blood levels are normal. So he says, just put a little effort, start walking, and that's it. But if the fever would have already gone away, that's that. That was Sunday. Today, Tuesday, with this meeting of the minds with them and us, the family members, they said, well, all the tests are negative, and it's just really blowing our minds. it really has us puzzled. This is a mystery. They said, but all of his blood tests are not normal. And I'm thinking, what? You're saying every darn test that every machine that's out there has been negative, yet the blood tests are not normal due to one monocyte cell.
So here's what you need to do, Bernice. You need to find Bernice.
The infection was gone. Yes.
Bernice, you need to find a good lawyer. You need to find a good lawyer, and you need to take the hospital to task because they're padding the bill, they're incompetent, and they need to be taken to the mat. If it were my father, that's what I would do, quite frankly. Okay. I appreciate everything that you do. You know, what are you going to do? I mean, everybody needs to stop the 10 bad foods. And everybody needs to be on the Healthy Start Pack and selenium appropriate for body weight. Now, to give extra immune support, which may be necessary here in somebody with a chronically elevated oral temperature, do one bottle of Killer Biotic per 100 pounds of body weight for 4 weeks. One bottle of Killer Biotic, and emphasize a diet high in protein because the immune system is made out of protein. The immune system is made out of protein. He should also restrict any extracurricular sugar consumption because sugar depresses immune function. Sugar depresses immune function.
Right now he's repelling sugar. He's like, don't give me anything sweet.
Gotta love it. Give him more protein. Give him the Killer Biotic. Make sure he stays away from the 10 bad foods.
Where do I get the Killer Biotic? Where do I get that?
That's a longevity product.
Oh, it is. Okay,
yeah,
I'll
it's called Ultimate Killer Biotic. Yeah, one of those per 100 pounds of body weight per month. You're the greatest. Keep up the good work. We're going to stay in California now with Madru, our old friend Madru. Madru, it's about time you called back. Where have you been?
Well, you're not in on Fridays, and so I've been calling on Fridays.
All right. Well, that's fair enough. What's going on?
Well, Dr. Wallach's going to be out here for 3 days.
Gotta love it, right?
Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, yes, and I'm geared up. I got a ton of grabbing nurses, and they're grabbing other people, and this is how we're going to do it, okay?
Gotta love it.
But anyway, I got to tell you, I've got a lady, her mother's 82. She had a hip replacement, and they want to do another hip replacement. And so I said, no, So she's back east somewhere, and she wants to get the product. So she weighs under 100 pounds. She's about maybe 5'4".
How old is she?
About 82.
Well, all right. So we can assume.
Any diabetes or anything. Nothing.
All right. So we can assume, right, that everybody, the majority of people in the population have a gluten intolerance, and they don't know that they have a gluten intolerance.
Right.
And she's been eating gluten for 80 years.
Mm-hmm.
So there's probably 80 years of damage to her intestinal villi that's in play here. And so because of that, we should lean towards as many liquid nutritional supplements as possible because liquid nutritional supplements are much more easily absorbed by the human body, right? So in order to support and promote healthy bone and joint function, the recommendation for her, the best thing for her to do would be one Healthy Body Start Pack 2.0 liquid.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure it's a liquid. The Healthy Body Start Pack 2.0 liquid. One of those.
Mm-hmm.
2 bottles of liquid Glucogel Plus.
Okay.
1 bottle of plant-derived minerals.
Okay.
2 bottles of Ultimate Selenium.
Okay.
And if there is pain present,
there is.
You can get the CM cream and apply it topically.
Okay, I got it.
Oh, that's what you do. But also, she needs to be advised about the nastiness of the 10 bad foods, and you can just send her a link to my free video on that, right?
I sent it to it already.
Well, there you go. And also, anybody that has any type of a chronic arthritic thing going on anywhere in the body, they need to just be deathly afraid of soda pop. Zero tolerance for soda pop.
Brittles those bones.
Yeah, I know. It's bad stuff. And, bisphosphonates, things like Fosamax and Boniva, that's just foolishness.
Yes.
Yeah. That's all you need to do. You knew that, though, Madru. I knew you just wanted to talk to me.
I want them to hear it. I want them to call in and hear it, okay? Because I tell them, and they're like, okay. But
hey, listen, tell me, call back after Dr. Wallach's in town and give the world a report about how he was received and what happened.
I will. Thank you so much.
I'll look forward to it. Appreciate you, Madru. Keep up the good work. This is how we're doing it, folks. We're generating a grassroots coalition of the informed, people all over the world, people just like you, who are sick and tired of being sick and tired of getting worse and worse and worse, having to take more and more drugs, have the MDs are clueless about what causes it. Oh, I don't know. We just did $10,000 worth of blood work. I have no idea why you have a high fever, but we're going to keep you in the hospital for the rest of your life until we figure it out. You have really good insurance, by the way. Oh, and then when the insurance runs out, we'll have to kick you out. But, you know, that's just what we do. And we put up with it because we don't know any better, and because for most people in the United States, there are 37 states that do not license nor recognize naturopathic medicine. Most people don't even know how to pronounce naturopathy, let alone know what it is. So people think that the MD is the only show in town, and the MD must be the best at what they do, and that the MD equals medicine, and it's not true. Your medical doctor may be the nicest person God ever created, but they don't know what's best for you. They only know what they've been trained in. And as it turns out, what they've been trained in is really good for trauma and surgery when the MD is not addicted to street drugs, alcohol, or prescription medicine. As Harvard University says, over 50% of them are. For chronic diseases, they suck, and they should be abandoned. Not only should they be abandoned, quite frankly, they should be taken to court. But, you know, it's not a perfect world. Graciela in Florida is up next. There's a lovely little name. Graciela, thanks for the phone call. You are live.
No, it's Graciela.
Graciela. All right, yes. I'm going to get my phone. I got to have my phone. All right, Graciela. That's even a prettier name. What part of Florida do you live in?
I live in Trinity, near Tampa.
Oh, very nice. How's your summer been so far?
It's been hot, super hot, crazy hot.
Yeah.
But hopefully it's going to get better.
Well, I'll call you in December, and I don't think you're going to feel so bad.
I will love that. I love December. I usually go to Brazil in the summer because then it's winter there, so I get 2 winters every time. So
yeah, very nice.
My mother is coming from Brazil, and I want her to get in with the longevity program. And my question is, because she has different things, I don't know which package to get. She has thinning hair, very little on the top, and it falls a lot. She had shoulder and knee surgery before, and now her other arm is getting numb when she sleeps.
Right.
She also has cataracts, and the only organ that she doesn't have is her uterus. So I don't know.
Yeah, so, you know, decades of conventional medicine at play here, and look how healthy it's made her, right? It's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, right, the older that we get, the sicker we get. And because it happens to everybody, we think that, well, this is just the way that it is. Well, and in direct contradistinction to this exists Dr. Wallach, who at 75 years of age is healthier than most people are when they're 30. Quite frankly, this has become, again, reality by consensus, and we've all gotten used to medical mediocrity because the MDs monopolize the medical theater. So the monopolization of medicine leads to MD mediocrity. And this is why they still are in power, because, you know, it's good to be the king and nobody questions it when they screw up, and they screw up all the freaking time. I mean, come on, you know, first one hip, and then the next hip, and then the cataracts go, and then the blood pressure, and then fibromyalgia, and then I can't sleep at night, and then I'm depressed, and then I get heartburn. You know, it's like this. I mean, for goodness sake, we need prescription medicines to fall asleep, prescription medicines to wake up, prescription medicines to pee, prescription medicines not to pee, prescription medicines for the pain, prescription medicines for the heartburn, prescription medicines for the high blood pressure, prescription medications for the high blood sugar. When's it going to stop? Never is when it's going to stop, because it's good to be king, and nobody knows that there are, in fact, science-based, clinically verified alternatives to this insanity. So how much does your mother weigh, Graciela?
She's probably like 130. She's 5'2".
Okay, so cataracts, sometimes you can get on the other side of that, and sometimes you can't. I personally have never treated a patient for cataract and seen it go away. However, when I have been lecturing around the world over the last 5 years, I've given, I think, between 150 and 200 lectures all over the world. People have come up to me at the breaks and tell me that they used to have cataracts and that they went away with a medical nutrition intervention. So I've never seen it, but I have no reason to believe that these people were lying to me. So perhaps it's possible that she can get on the other side of that. We believe that the genesis of the cataract formation is caused by oxidative damage to the human body, to too many free radicals in the blood, and a weak fire department of the human body. So she needs to have antioxidant support, and, the fire department of the body needs to be supported. She also needs a massive amount of, well, not a massive amount, but a therapeutic amount of bone and joint support because, her hips are gone, and that game is still afoot. Now, because of her body weight and her age, the recommendation would be one Healthy Body Start Pack 2.0 liquid, one of those. The Healthy Body Start Pack 2.0 liquid. Make sure it's liquid.
Okay.
One of those. 3 liquid Glucogel Plus. 3 liquid Glucogel Plus. 3 selenium and 1 immortalium. Actually, you know what? She's from Brazil, so give her some triple treat chocolate also. Give her some triple treat chocolate.
That will help with the hair, too, the thinning hair?
Yeah, the thinning hair, we believe, is just chronic, across-the-board nutrient deficiencies. Okay. I believe she's going to feel remarkably different in 90. Well, you did it again, ladies and gentlemen. You wasted another perfectly 2 good hours with me. Hope you learned something. Hope you had fun. I'm on a little bit of a tear today. I don't know why I go on tears every once in a while. It's just my nature. Appreciate your support, appreciate your listenership, appreciate your viewership, really appreciate your longevity membership and your insider subscription purchases. We are out to make a big splash in the world of human suffering. It sounds a lot more grandiose than it is because people are suffering needlessly. And what we bring into the theater are boilerplate medical nutrition strategies for the masses. Boilerplate medical nutrition for the masses, and that beats a poke in the eye with a sharp stick. Let's finish it up with Jim in Indiana. Hey, Jim, thanks for the call. You are live.
Hey, Doc, how you doing today, bud?
Pretty good, man. What's up?
I got something simple for you. Last week I got in some poison ivy.
Oh.
And yeah, buddy, it's on my arms, my legs.
Oh, do you have any idea of my experience of poison ivy?
No.
Oh, man. I have had poison ivy bad, probably 10 times in my life. I mean, I look at poison ivy and I get it. Well, that's not true. Cancel. It's not that bad yet. I've tried a lot of different things to get on the other side of poison ivy. I've never seen anything work. The one thing that I haven't tried, which I'm going to try the next time I get it, heaven forbid I get it, is called it's an herbal medicine. It grows right next to poison ivy. The common name is Touch Me Not. And I can't believe I'm having a mental block on it because I was just looking this stuff up yesterday. I'm going to think about it in a second, but this herbal medicine, if you get a tincture of this medicine or just collect some, chop it up and boil it, you'll get a yellow liquid, and then if you pour the yellow liquid, if you make it cold, put it in the fridge, cool it down, and pour or spray the liquid onto the surface of the skin that's been affected by the poison ivy, it will help it a great deal. Let me get the name for that because this is just going to make me crazy. Hold on.
Obviously I got people tell me, you need to go to the doctor.
No, you don't need to go to. It's called jewelweed. Jewelweed is the name of it. Jewelweed. You can also get it. Online. You can probably get a bottle of the tincture of jewelweed. That's the one thing I haven't tried that people that have been suffering from poison ivy have told me that works. Okay. You want to apply that liberally, but other than that, man, it's just 2 weeks of pain and suffering. It's just 2 weeks of pain and suffering.
I only got a week to go.
Does it feel much better if you run it like under hot scalding water?
feels great.
Man.
It feels soothing.
I know. I would get up in the middle of the night when I had bad poison ivy. It was like I'm, just turn the hot water on, no cold water, and just run the part of my body that had the poison ivy on it like that. It felt so good for like 10 minutes, right?
Yes, yeah. Oh, yeah.
But I don't know, man. What are you going to do? That's the only thing that I haven't tried that people testify to. So I'd get some jewel weed, spray it on, and call me back and tell me what happened.
All right, I will.
All right, good luck. I appreciate the phone call very, very much. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is how we do it. One person at a time, one mind at a time, one body at a time. And as God is my witness, the only reason that the naturopathic medical profession exists, the only reason that longevity exists, and not only exists but thrives and breaks sales records every month, is because it works. It works. It's a hostile political climate lined up against anything holistic. Give your body a chance. Let the proof of the pudding be in the eating. Give longevity a chance. Call 855-347-3696 or call the number that your radio station, your terrestrial radio station, is advertising to get more information. And if you were directed here by a member of Longevity Nation, get with them to see what the next step for you is. Until we meet again, I remain your steadfast advocate for health, Dr. Peter Glidden. Live long and prosper.